It's about time now.
All right, you have the floor. This is the hotly anticipated Helmut on helmets.
Yeah, we've had all 20 helmets unveiled. We actually have 21, which is a great thing. We got a bonus helmet, basically, because Nico Hülkenberg has started off the season.
That's true.
So it's going to end up being 21, but now, finally, we can get into it.
Helmut on helmets.
It's been a while since we've heard that hilarious intro to this segment.
Yeah, it's good to have it back. Right, let's just kick things off. I'm just going to go down through the teams, and we can talk about the helmets that they're rocking, and then I'll decide which one I think is the winner within the team, so we can kind of get our top and bottom 10.
Oh, so you're going to anoint a driver per team.
I'll just say which one I think is the best within the teams, because there's so many. I don't want to start throwing numbers around because my eyes will start to cross.
Can you text that to me real quick so I can follow the image?
Yeah, sure.
Send it on over here, Daddy.
I gotta shoot. I have my breakdown here, my sheet of. It looks like a police lineup, basically, with every single driver's helmet up and down the grid. The only one not on here, Ryan, is Nico Hülkenberg, so you have to go off memory for that one. But let's start things off, Ryan, with Mercedes. You have Lewis Hamilton and George Russell. So Lewis Hamilton, we've already touched on this. Everyone, I'm sure, has noticed because it's even accented on his car, has gone to that highlighter yellow throwback to his karting days.
With the purple, though. Still some purple on there.
Exactly. There's still a lot of purple, but it's primarily the highlighter yellow. That's a common theme throughout here, Ryan. There's a decent amount of some throwback or retro designs going on up and down the grid. Lewis Hamilton, though, has the highlighter yellow, which I enjoy. Everything else is still pretty much the same. We still get a little purple, which I can enjoy.
You know what I like about his helmet that is a very nice touch is the inside where all that puffy material is, whatever
the
you
foam
call it.
Or whatever.
Yeah, that's all purple inside the helmet.
Yeah. Yeah, I think it still looks good. I mean, the highlighter yellow works very well with the purple, surprisingly.
I do like the way he's matched everything on the car. He has the yellow T-cam, the yellow helmet. They've put some other highlighter yellow accents on the car. His number 44 is very
the neon. It's
very
MotoGP, the way his number is colored and everything.
It's very Valentino Rossi, actually.
Exactly. This is very much the color the Doctor has always run with.
Hell yeah. Legend.
And I didn't realize you could do this, because I always thought the livery stuff was kind of strict. You couldn't really make many tweaks back in the day. The fact that a driver, I could just ask, like, hey, make mine different colors. It's pretty dope.
Well, I mean, I think it's just a case of Lewis Hamilton having a little bit more clout than your average driver.
He's got plenty.
If Nick Latifi went into the office, to Yost Capito's office, and was like, yeah, I want Forest Green for my number, Yost would say, get the fuck out of my office.
Yeah. Squeeze my balls. So, Ryan, George Russell, originally, I was telling you how his helmet that he was originally proposing to wear at Mercedes in his first season here was like a red helmet, and it looked very much like Michael Schumacher's helmet when he was at Mercedes.
It did.
And he had to ditch that design because he was probably getting a lot of comments that it was kind of ripping off Michael Schumacher. And he went to like basically an all black kind of thing with just the red stripe around the crown of it. Mm-hmm. And I mean, I think it looks good. The black looks very good with his 63 GR popping on the side, but it's still, sometimes I appreciate more basic helmets because they end up looking more old school, right? But
he's somewhere in between.
It's kind of in between for sure. But all in all, I mean, if I have to say who wins this one, it's got to be Lewis Hamilton. He's got all purple going on, a lot of purple still going on. The highlighter accents on the car put it over the top, even though that isn't technically part of the helmet on helmets, but I can appreciate the synergy throughout the car livery.
Right.
And yeah, George had a chance to kind of try and steal some of Michael Schumacher's thunder, and he backed down and went just basic black. So yeah, Hamilton takes the cake here.
I'm with you. I would agree with that vote.
Right guy, Red Bull. Red Bull helmets, both at Red Bull and AlphaTauri, to me, I think they're very strict with the base design you can have.
They are.
Where sponsors have to be.
They are. You have to hammer their sponsors on your design. It kind of sucks if you're a Red Bull driver.
So Max has kind of had the same thing going for a while now. On the crown of the helmet, he has lion with the MV for like the eyes and the nose, right, for the Max Verstappen logo of his initials.
Right.
But he has a lot more gold. It's white, basically, with the Red Bull logo in gold. There's really not much to say about all these guys' helmets. They're pretty unchanged. Checo's, he had more color going, I feel like, last year, more of an homage to the Mexican flag colors.
Yeah.
This year, it's kind of a weirder color scheme, not as directly tied to the flag. And again, he's restricted by that Red Bull template, basically.
Yeah, I mean, even just looking at your helmet cheat sheet here, both those helmets side by side almost look identical. That's how boring Red Bull helmets are.
Exactly. But even with the boredom, I have to give the edge to Max Verstappen. Yeah, as Ken would say, Max Super Max.
Yeah, he has more, cooler personal touches like the lion.
The lion is dope.
The lion on top. And
the integration of the MV logo into the lion.
And he does, if I remember correctly, Max did like 4 special helmets last year.
Yeah,
right?
He'll do specialty helmets for sure. He did at the Dutch Grand Prix last year. He did in Brazil, and he did in Abu Dhabi, I believe. But the thing that kind of puts it over the top, right? It's funny. I'm kind of allowing extracurriculars in my ratings where I gave Hamilton the nod because I also love the synergy with the highlighter accents on the car.
Right.
Max, I love that he has gold racing boots this year.
Yeah, it's
and
a nice
so
touch.
That synergized with the helmet. For me, that puts Max over the edge.
And he's rocking the number 1 on his car this year.
Exactly. He's going with number 1 as the most recent champion, as he's able to do. And he's pimping the gold hard, which I think plays. It's a good hue of gold that he's using as well.
All right, so far you've chosen Lewis at Mercedes and Max at Red Bull.
Yeah, let's head over to Ferrari, right, guy. Charles Leclerc, he's kind of had...
This is going to be a tough one for you.
Yeah, Charles Leclerc recently had kind of done that sort of shadow, his CL17
logo, yeah.
Or 16 logo, like sort of patterned on the side of the helmet, and then has the red and white for Monaco. This year, he's kind of gone more basic, more old school. I kind of dig it this year more than having the CL logo all over the helmet. I kind of like the simplicity, and it has more of a retro throwback and the homage to Monaco, right?
Yeah, I mean, this season, Charles' helmet is just a big red cherry. It seems like it's just gotten all red this year.
It's a maraschino cherry.
Yeah, absolutely.
A Monaco maraschino cherry.
Yeah, it's just very Ferrari. It's getting redder every year.
Yeah. Carlos Sainz, right guy, he has sort of his own template he's come up with recently where it's sort of the Spanish flag colors and sort of a Tron-y pattern around the sides of the helmet, the black going up the middle. He has a very striking, very cool helmet design, I'd say. I really enjoy his sort of template, and it seems like the Ferrari guys have more room to play with. They only really have to have the Kaspersky, white stripe on the side of the crown.
Right, and I think Carlos's Spanish colors on his helmet actually play really well with the car.
The Ferrari
this year. Yeah, because that's
another thing I take into account too is how it looks in the cars, because sometimes the helmets can get downgraded by clashing with the car.
Oh, absolutely. But yeah, like the black on his helmet plays well with this year's Ferrari because it has so many black touches. The rear wing is
right, and the
predominantly
suits have
black.
the black bar across the chest.
Yeah.
So Ryan,
it's awesome. I know what I would pick, but
I think Carlos Sainz gets his first win of the year.
Oh wow,
his first win in Formula One.
So you and I are 3 for 3 here.
Yeah, Carlos Sainz I think is better. Charles, I like that he went more basic with the red and not the CL logos all around the helmet.
It's just a little bland. Man.
Yeah, a little bland. He could do a little more fun stuff with it, but he's keeping it simple here. I'm sure he'll give us a very cool helmet for Monaco and probably for Monza. Both the Ferrari drivers, I imagine, will, right?
Yeah.
And with Charles Leclerc, leading the Drivers' Championship, I think he'll start to have some more fun with that helmet as the season progresses if he's staying in contention for or leading the title fight.
He should.
Right, let's head to McLaren. So Lando Norris is also a guy who there's obviously freedom at McLaren, I think more so than any other team, where they can do whatever they want.
Look at both those helmets.
It's interesting. They have to have the most sponsors top to bottom on the grid, but Zach, I think, lets them kind of do whatever they want with the helmet. There's no mandate of sponsors all over the helmets.
Hey, Zach Brown gets marketing. That's why they're the most popular team in all of F1, according to last year's survey.
Yeah, because he also lets the drivers do their own stuff, where Danny Rick has his own clothing line. Lando Norris, I think, has his own clothing line, right, that he did a custom helmet for last year.
Yeah, and he's CEO of Quadrant now.
Yeah, so Lando's is kind of an interesting, it's a little bit too floral for me. It looks like some sort of lotus flower thing on the side, but he definitely does a good job of promoting his LN number 4 logo, you know?
Yeah. I mean, his helmet is virtually unchanged this season.
Yeah, he just changes the hue a little bit, some of the design elements around it, but it's pretty much a basic standard design for him now. Danny Rick, as we know, since he has left Red Bull, he wanted to free himself of those strict constraints on the helmet design. He went crazy again this year. His, though, has great synergy with the livery on the McLaren. It basically looks like it's melting into the actual McLaren livery itself.
That's true. I hadn't considered it that way.
So it's kind of a base, sort of the papaya orange. Then he has cutaways on the side that I don't know if it's sort of revealing some sort of alien jawline or what's going on. And then he has like a blob on the crown. And his bit this year, he always loves coming up with slogans that kind of don't make any sense recently. All good, always was last year. Right.
Yeah.
And this year it's present in the front and momentum in the back. And I don't know if it means like present momentum, like have momentum, or if it means like be present, or the present is in front of you, but also have momentum. He's getting way too like deep with these messages, I feel like.
Danny Confucius Ricardo, apparently.
Yeah. But either way, I always love his helmets because they look very edible. I have to give the win to Danny Rick because I'm always going to back someone who's getting super extreme with their helmet designs, and it looks great with the car livery.
You know, I'm going to go with Danny Rick as well, but simply because his cool helmet designs are like the only thing that guy's got going for himself right now.
Exactly. You got to let him have some moral victories. You know?
Yeah, that guy needs a fucking win.
So Ryan, Alpine, this is one of the more shocking helmet changes, redesigns.
Both of them.
Fernando Alonso, for sure, though, a drastic redesign. He's kind of had a standard design in all categories that he's raced in past years, right? The same kind of colors, Spanish flag colors going on, his big Fernando Alonso logo. But this year, he seems all in on BWT. He's got like purple on the crown, purple on the base of the helmet, pink going all over the place. So maybe BWT had because we know how they love trying to work pink into the liveries and stuff. Maybe they slid him a couple bucks to go pink.
Oh, I'm sure they did. It's also just like a very retro design. You know, just that multicolored apron going from the front to the back around the sides. It's very retro.
Yeah. And Esteban Ocon, who had recently always gone French flag with had the Eiffel Tower design on the crown. He I guess, has gone this sort of red and white helmet that has sort of an Iron Man look to it with the pattern.
Right. It is Iron Man-esque. But I think he still has the Eiffel Tower on the crown.
Yeah, I believe he still does. We're looking at sideways shots on it so you can kind of see it. I'm pretty sure it's still on the top. It has sort of a honeycomb pattern as well, Ryan, on the coloring. I will say, I don't know. Ocon's just has me a little perplexed with the color scheme he's going with.
Yeah, I like the design, but I don't get the red.
Right. He has a pink and blue car this year, and he switched from blue, white, and red to a weird colored kind of like a rusty red.
It's like a burnt red. Yeah.
So I like the pink synergy and sort of the retro stylings of Fernando Alonso's. Anytime you also do a drastic redesign, I'm going to be a fan of it. So I think Fernando takes the cake there for Alpine. Let's talk AlphaTauri.
I think I like Ocon's design better, and I'm going to go with him. I just don't like the color, but I'm going to give the edge to Ocon.
There you go. We've diverged for once here. AlphaTauri, Ryan, again, basic. Pierre has had the same style for the past 2-3 years, I believe. Yuki has like a crazy sort of pattern going on his design, but they look very similar, both of them. I'm looking forward to seeing their specialty helmets because that's where they're going to hopefully give us more of a show. These are just very basic, very boring. Pierre's is his gold standard. I'll give Yuki the nod just because he likes doing patterns that don't make sense. Like this pattern, it almost looks like a Maori like tattoo.
It's like an orange tie-dye almost.
Right. And he did like the fall leaves for the race in Texas last year. So because of the nonsensical nature, I think Yuki Tsunoda gets the nod.
I mean, everyone knows who I'm going to pick, and it's Yuki.
Yes, let's go Aston Martin, the longest named team on the grid, Ryan. Aston Martin, Aramco Cognizant F1 team. Sebastian Vettel, we haven't seen his yet in action. We know what it is.
True.
It's his standard. It's mainly all white with the off-center German flag stripe that goes back, and then he just plays with that German flag stripe. I'm sure it'll be Ukrainian colors. It'll be globe patterns will be added to it. He always tweaks it, but he has I really like his clean retro helmet that he's rocked for a while now.
Yeah, I do too. They're always fun, especially when a guy sticks to the design for a long time.
Yeah,
because you don't see that at all anymore.
Lance Stroll, Ryan, he's sticking with. It's very similar to what he had last year, but he definitely cranked it up.
It's a variation. It's like gold lined now.
Yeah, I like a lot more. So if people don't remember, last year he basically took the wings of the Aston Martin logo and put them on the sides of his helmet. So he ended up looking like it was a Philadelphia Eagles helmet. Last year it was that bad color of green to match the car. This year he's gone with like a much deeper green.
It's almost blue.
Yeah, it's sort of like a metallic, the wings, and then he has all the bright green accents on it with the Aramco tie-in. So I definitely think he stepped it up. We liked his helmet a decent amount last year, but he stepped it up even more this year. But I have to go with our wild card, Ryan. Nico Hülkenberg, for me, has the best helmet at Aston Martin. It looks like a watermelon. It's unbelievable. It's his Hulk helmet where it's sort of like the
Rocketeer.
The sun kind of Rocketeer thing going on. But because of the integration of the green for Aston Martin, and he had sort of like a red, pinkish red kind of thing going on as well, it looks like a watermelon. So always going to like a watermelon helmet. So congrats, Nico Hülkenberg.
I'm going with Lance. I think Lance's helmet is sick.
Lance's looks really good. I would pick his if I was only doing that, but I decided to throw Nico Hülkenberg a bone here because I do like his watermelon helmet. Waterhead him. So Ryan, let's go Williams. Alex Albon. Really like Alex Albon's. So it's mainly a dark blue, but then it has sort of the old Martini kind of stylings to it.
Yeah, I love the
stripes.
I love the colors he used, and he's got to have the best looking Red Bull helmet out of all of them.
That's true, and he has the big Red Bull sponsor in the Williams powered by Mercedes. So we love that confusion. That's always going to be a nice tick in his box. Nick Latifi's, Ryan, kind of has me confused. It's very like tattoo. It looks like a tattoo artist designed it. It's very like West Coast Choppers or whatever Kimi Räikkönen,
it is
had
odd.
His logo look like. It just doesn't make sense at all to me. I don't know what this logo also, he has on the side.
The colors too. Like he's from Canada, but he went with like French colors.
Yeah, and he has some logo that I don't understand what it is. He's number 6, but I guess it's an N.
No, it's
nothing. It's a cursive N and a cursive L. It really doesn't make any sense. So I'm sorry, Nick Latifi. You lose out. Alex Albon's, I think, is one of the better looking helmets on the entire grid, let alone within Williams.
Yeah, this was a blowout.
Yeah, this was not even close.
Alex Albon's helmet looks 1,000 times better than Nick Latifi's.
Much like Albon's performance against Latifi has been this season as well. It was a blowout.
Right.
Right, let's head to Alfa Romeo. Valtteri Bottas. I'm kind of digging Valtteri's redesign here. He's sort of had, Mercedes has some constraints as well when it comes to design, and he's gone very funky. It looks very much like a sort of dirt, like motorcycle, helmet, or like an Evel Knievel style kind of helmet.
I think both Valtteri Bottas's helmet and Zhou Guanyu's helmet this season, both of them fucking stink. They both stink.
From two bad ones. So Zhou's at least has purple.
Know. Well, yeah, so Zhou gets bonus points for the purple on his helmet, but that's about it. Did we get confirmation whether or not Valtteri's girlfriend designed his helmet this year?
I can't wait for her to redesign it from race to race. Zhou Guanyu's is purple with some sort of Chinese skyline. I'm not sure exactly where. That probably looks like the entire skyline of the country of China. And then he has all sorts of Chinese designs on the crown, Chinese characters all over it. It's very busy.
A lot of it looks like clip art, which I also ding him for.
Right. That's Valtteri's girlfriend's jobs. Did she design Guanyu Zhou's and just look up Chinese clip art?
That could be the case. All I know is that not your average Zhou Guanyu Zhou's helmet is very below average in my eyes.
Yeah. So by default, I think Valtteri has to win, even though I can't quite understand what it is. It's just a weird design. Again, he has red.
They're just two ugly helmets.
I guess he's trying to tie into the Alfa Romeo with the red, but these two have to be two of the bottoms. But if I had to pick one in that team, I'm going Valtteri Bottas. So,
if I had to pick one, I would absolutely go with Zhou Guanyu Zhou.
Oh, really?
But another thing I want to point out,
I like Valtteri's more than Guanyu Zhou's.
Of all the teams, okay, when you look at this awesome index of helmets you have here, okay, no team's helmets clash worse.
Yes.
With the car than Valtteri and Zhou Guanyu Zhou.
They have the beautiful Alfa Romeo script on the car.
It's easy to match up with it, just white and red.
Right, and then a little black on the car as well.
And like Valtteri's helmet looks like he can't remember if he drives for Mercedes still or Alfa Romeo.
Yeah, it's like a melted version of both cars. And then Zhou Guanyu Zhou is a crazy clip art skyline, crazy clip art designs, and Chinese characters in purple. And that's the only saving grace is a little bit of purple. But I'm going Valtteri Bottas for the best of that bad lot there at Alfa Romeo.
All right, last
the
but not
final
least.
squad, yes, right guy, Haas, Formula One team, Mick Schumacher. So his helmet is an interesting departure too. I always thought he was going to kind of stick with what he had before. He was kind of following after his father's design to some extent, where he would put those sort of stars on the crown, his dad would, for his championships, right?
Right.
The way that Lewis put stars on the sides of his helmet. Mick Schumacher, though, going very neon. I'm digging it's sort of a fade from the bright neon green he had before to a neon blue in the back.
Yeah, it's like
black.
It's like a yellow to green to blue gradient on the helmet this year.
Yeah, and he still has the stars and stuff going on the crown, much like his father had. I like the simple design, very angular, very simple, very flattering. I think the overall pattern.
It's okay. I can't make much sense of the design itself. I like the colors. I don't like the design.
Yeah, the colors play, I feel like. So, guy Kevin Magnussen obviously is in, and his helmet is basically the same one that he's run forever in Formula One, right? He has his K logo, which I guess is like a backwards K, or maybe it's a fast-moving K, or maybe that's the way it's supposed to be, and it's also an M.
Well, it wraps all the way around, so maybe it like spells K-Mag or something as it goes across.
Yeah, I think it might be an M on the other side. Who knows? But he's had a very standard helmet for the longest time. I'm just not a fan of his K and everything. It looks more like Japanese or Chinese. It looks like a crazy character, you know? Much like Nick Latifi's initial, the design of his initials. It's kind of confusing.
I like K-Mag's design. I'm fine with the design. I just really like that his helmet really plays with the car colors this year.
That's true.
I mean, when he's in the cockpit, that looks like a Haas helmet. That's
true. Mick stands out, so you always know which driver is Mick. And should I go from left field and give it to Nikita Mazepin? No, I'm kidding. We never saw his, really. We saw it in one session in the first testing, right?
Yeah, that's true.
So, guy Mick Schumacher for me is the better. I just like the colors and I just like his helmet. I think it looks clean when you see it as a standalone. It might clash a little bit more than K-Mag's, but I've never been that moved by K-Mag's helmet design because it's basically the same one he's had for his last couple of years in Formula One before he had left.
I got to go K-Mag. I just got to go with the colors, man. It plays with the car so much better. And I feel like Mick should not have departed from the Schumacher style helmet. It might be why he's been driving so poorly so far this year.
Yeah.
It's a stroke of bad luck, I think.
And Ryan, if I just had to figure out what your podium would be, if I had to pick a podium of helmets, and I'll have to leave Nico Hülkenberg out, even though I picked him as the Aston Martin best of, just to shout out his watermelon helmet. My podium would have to be Lewis Hamilton's helmet, Lance Stroll's helmet, and Alex Albon's helmet.
That's literally my podium.
Really?
Yeah.
Yeah, those are my favorite three when you see all these top to bottom next to each other.
Yeah, I think my top step is Lewis, though. I dig it.
Yeah, I like all three of those. And they're very, very different sort of designs. Obviously, you have the highlighter from Lewis. You have sort of the retro martini stylings of Alex Albon's and the fact that he has a huge Red Bull
It is funny
on his helmet when he's at Williams, powered by Mercedes.
It cracks me up every time I see it on the broadcast. He's rocking a massive Red Bull graphic on his helmet while racing for Williams.
Yeah. So that's the full...
With the Mercedes engine.
Exactly. So that's your full preseason, the base helmet design, helmet on helmets for this year. And we're going to obviously have our eyes peeled because we're expecting 1 million specialty helmets throughout the season round. We have 23 races. You don't think we're going to have at least 1, 2, 3 or more specialty helmets for every race?
Oh, you're going to be dizzy by the end of the season trying to keep track of all these helmet designs.
I can't wait.
Helmut on helmets.